Gray skull print t-shirt, studded belt, black and white checkered tennis shoes. A fairly typical teenage girl's outfit, now part of official police record.
That's the last picture of Kara alive.
Take a good long look. The clothes on her back, that bracelet on her wrist.
She had either a bracelet or a watch on her arm.
These are now clues. It's not much, but it's part of what very little is known about what may have been 17-year-old Kara Kopetsky's last day on Earth.
That kid loved me, and I loved her, and we were a family.
Such a very different picture just 14 years earlier. No signs at all in these happy home movies of the horror that would soon haunt them.
Time, Mommy!
Mom, if you had to describe Kara in one word, what would it be?
Wonderful.
Why?
She was the kind of girl that no matter how old she got, she wasn't afraid to come up and give you a hug and tell you that she loved you.
What did you envision life would be like if Kara was still here?
Just watching our family grow. Kara'd be of the age where she might be having children now, and we'd be looking at possible grandbabies and, you know, just a growing family.
Instead, it's been 9 long years since Jim and Rhonda Beckford's daughter walked out the front doors of her Belton, Missouri high school and dropped off the radar, simply vanished.
When people say time heals, not true.
No, those are people that have their answer. They're the people that maybe have lost somebody, but they know what has happened to them. They have a grave to visit. They have answers, and we don't have answers, and that's what we've been searching for the last 9 years.
In the dark, they say, but not completely blind. There are a few knowns when it comes to Kara Kopetsky's last days. They begin shortly before she disappeared, around 10 Friday morning, when Kara was on the phone with her ex-boyfriend, Kyler Yost.
When you hear Kyler's name, the first thing you think of is what?
Brilliant. He's one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life. He does a lot of art, he plays instruments, so, I mean, he could have done anything with his life that he wanted to.
But according to Kara's parents, the only thing Kyler seemed to be fond of or focused on was being with their daughter.
He did not want Kara listening to Rhonda or myself. One of the things he constantly told her was, you know, you can move out when you're 17. And we did hear that, well, I'm moving out when I'm 17 and stuff like that.
We saw from the very beginning that he was a controlling kind of person. You know, you try to talk to her and you try to tell her that he ain't no good for you. And, you know, when you're 16, which she was when they first started going out, it just made them want to be together even more.
But eventually, Kara would try to break things off after she reportedly experienced anything but a teenage dream.
We started noticing bruises on Kara's arms, and her demeanor changed.
What I've been told and a little bit of what I've witnessed is pretty much every woman that he's ever been with, he's sort of laid hands on.
Violent?
Yes.
Had you ever seen him be violent with anyone else?
Oh yeah, definitely.
After nearly a year of dating, Kara appeared to finally be through with it all, even taking to social media for some moral support.
She posted, for the past 9 months, I've dedicated my life to my boyfriend, Kyler, and neglected my family and friends. And she had to let him go and let him grow as his own person. And the unfortunate thing is, Kyler didn't want to let Kara go.
Just 2 weeks before her disappearance, police learned Kara was standing in a parking lot when Kyler showed up in a rage.
The report was made that she'd been at work, and when she got off work, her boyfriend at that time came by, forced her to get into his vehicle.
Yeah, he had kidnapped her against her will, drug her in the car, held her, and she had to jump out of that vehicle. And you know, on a separate occasion, he had choked her. He had threatened to slit her throat.
That's more than just a rumor. Those threats are documented right here in this restraining order Kara and her parents filed against Kyler, one in which Kara herself states, "I'm unsure what he will do next because the abuse has gotten worse over time."
The restraining order, What did you hope that it was going to do ultimately?
Well, I was hoping that the restraining order would, be kind of an eye-opener for him and maybe cause him to stay away.
But did it? The two were talking hours before she disappeared.
One of her last phone calls was with her boyfriend, and it was like a 20-minute conversation. I think he picked her up. I think they went back to like his place and talked, discussed whatever about moving on.
In fact, an acquaintance of both teens would later tell authorities that Kara and Kyler were together that morning. What happened after that meeting is still a matter of intense speculation.
Normally, after school, if Kara was going to get a ride from somebody or she needed us to pick her up, she would call and leave a message on my cell phone. And there was no message from Kara or anything, and we knew she had to be at work at 4 o'clock. And so immediately we started trying to call her, and she wasn't answering the phone, and it was going to voicemail.
It was just totally uncharacteristic of Kara. I went up to see if she came into work there in case something happened to her phone, and went and talked to the manager, and he said, no, we're looking for her because we're short-handed.
With a growing sense of dread, Kara's parents call police to file a report.
Over the weekend, patrol officers contacted several different people, kept looking for her, and then Monday morning, it was turned over to the investigations unit and progressed from there.
But Kara's parents say, at first, they had trouble getting police to listen to their concerns, especially the one named Kyler.
All we knew was that she left school, she didn't come home, she didn't go to work, and her phone was off. That's all we know.
But you also knew that there was a record against Kyler and her that was just several days ago, and that was violent, threatening, not good, to say the very least.
But those things were looked at.
Yes.
And people were talked to, and no information was made available to us at that time that would indicate something had happened other than we had a missing person.
The implication being that Kara had simply run away. Certainly not unheard of with girls her age.
We hoped that because people said, well, what are you going to do when she comes back home? And I said, embrace her and, fix the problem if there's a problem to be fixed there.
But in the minds of Kara's parents and many others around town, the truth was likely something else. And as for that happy family reunion,
I don't even believe that Kara is a missing person. I believe she was murdered.
coming up,
He's a punk.
a new investigator joins the case, revealing what the family believes could be a surprise confession.
Have you ever seen the life leave someone's eyes?
And our hunt for answers puts us on a collision course with controversy.
Do you think he killed her?
No!